So now we reach the final part of the buyer series, and that's once you've finally selected the home, going through the contract process. In Texas, we've got a really interesting contract in that we have an option period. And what this option period does, it gives you the unreserved right to terminate the contract. So basically, if you find a home, and let's just say you get those second feelings and all of a sudden you don't like the neighborhood or something comes back bad on the inspection, for the price of your option fee, which is normally between $100 and $200, and it gives you the right to terminate within anywhere between, let's say, 10 and 14 days, you can terminate the contract and all you're out is $100. So oftentimes what I'll recommend to my clients is if there's a home you really like and you just feel you need to think about it some more, why not go ahead and make an offer? Because again, the worst thing you have to lose is that $100 option fee. So once you make the offer and you negotiate back and forth, you'll sign an effective contract. During that first 10 to 14 day option time that we talk about is when you have time to line up all of your inspections. Now your inspections are going to vary greatly depending on the age of the home. Most all of homes will get a regular structural and mechanical inspection. And this is regardless of whether the home is 100 years old or whether the home is a year old or brand new. Every home needs an inspection. Another very good thing to get is a termite inspection. Before Tropical Storm Allison, termites actually caused more damage in Texas than fire, flood, or any other natural disaster put together. So again, a termite inspection is a very good one. Another one that I often recommend on homes that have cast iron piping or that's older is what's called either a hydrostatic or isolation test. And what this does is this is going to check for breaks in the plumbing lines underneath the slab. So again, it's a very good thing to get, especially with older homes, because the repairs can be very, very costly. And finally, another inspection that I sometimes recommend is an environmental inspection. What a lot of people don't know is they'll go into older homes and see they've been completely remodeled and think, wow, that's great, it's been completely updated. Unfortunately, a lot of times when those homes were built, they were using products like asbestos and the sheetrock tape. And so again, if you've had a home that's been extensively remodeled, it's a really good idea to get that sense of well-being, getting an environmental test just to know that the air is clean in there. So after you do your inspections, normally what you'll do is if there's repairs, you'll go back to your seller, or your agent will go back to the other agent and negotiate for repairs. Oftentimes, if they're not major mechanical repairs, a lot of times they will be solved with kind of an allowance amount. So again, it's up to you and your agent to decide if you want the items fixed or if you want just a general allowance. And generally the rule is it gets fixed if it's broken. Not if it's worn or if it's aged, but if it's broken. So once you pass through the inspection period, the next biggest hurdle to overcome, and it might actually come during the same time, is the appraisal. This is where your bank will go out and try to get an assessed value for the home. Now this is very different than the appraisal district and different sites like Zillow, in that they are actually taking comparable sales and looking at the property itself. And this is what the bank is going to base its loan to ratio off of. Once we have that, we go into closing. It's usually a very good idea to request all the documents from the title company at least the day before closing. The last thing you want to have to do is get to closing and have a stack of documents this thick to read. So again, it's a good idea to go over them. At closing, you can either have both parties, the buyer and the seller, and sometimes they will actually close individual from each other. But once it's closed, you've signed all the papers and the loan is funded, which usually takes place anywhere from a few minutes to a few hours after closing. Congratulations, the home is yours. You've now gone through the process and you can enjoy home ownership.